What is up guys, it's your boy Swolham here, back again with another Wrath of the Lich King Classic video. So today we are answering one of the big questions regarding Wrath Classic, something I know that a lot of you guys have been wondering about, and I've had the same question myself, and the fact is that when I first got into the Wrath Classic beta, this is one of the first things that I tested out, because one of the questions that I had was whether or not the built-in quest helper would be there on the beta right now, because this came in a later patch in Wrath Classic, so I wanted to see if it was there from the start or if it was going to be added later on. But here's the thing, the answer to that question has actually been out there for quite a while. And I want to give a massive shout out to Mr. GM right here, because if it wasn't for him and me reading this on Twitter, just randomly scrolling through, I would have never known about this. So he tweeted on Twitter about the random or the built-in quest helper, the automatic quest helper feature that helps you do your quests, and it's basically an in-game add-on, or it's not even an add-on, it's just built in to help you complete quests, telling you where to go, what to do, and all of those things. And this is actually not going to be there in Wrath Classic, but here's the thing, Blizzard haven't really talked about that in any blue post anywhere. They have only talked about it in an interview, which is not really the right way to give us this kind of information in my opinion. It is like they are leaving small clues in several interviews, but it's not all in one place, and they should definitely give us a blue post with all of the answers they have given out. But let's just read through it and read through what they have said. So this was answered in an interview with PC Gamer, where PC Gamers asked this. I saw that you guys mentioned like the Dungeon Finder will not be in Wrath of the Lich King Classic, and I'm kind of curious if there's any other features that have been left out for some sort of familiar or similar reasons from what you have seen with the success of Classic. And here is the big answer from Blizzard, or the people working on this, aka Brian Birmingham and Searhood. So sure, one of the ones that is also similarly contentious. I know we've gotten a lot of feedback from people who are both really excited that we are not putting the Dungeon Finder in, and to be clear, that is the automatic Dungeon Finder, and also people who are disappointed because they were looking forward to it. I'm kind of disappointed myself, but the version they are bringing out is actually way better than I thought, so it looks really good. We are planning to make improvements to the group finding tool, but we don't want those improvements to mean that you will automatically be put into a group of people without talking to them, and we don't want it to teleport you automatically to the dungeon, or allow you to play with people from other realms. All of those are definitely good improvements to that group finding tool. So we do want to improve that way of like listing yourself for an interested activity, finding people and talking to them, and make that available. But the other feature, to answer your question, that we are not including, that also came in like the last patch of the OG Wrath of the Lich King, is the automatic integration of the quest system with the map, where it would tell you where the quest objectives were directly on the map, and we are not going to put that in because, well, it was out in the very last patch of Wrath of the Lich King, and it changes the way you play the game, and we know some players don't want that put right in their face. They want to be able to experience the game where they are reading the quest text, exploring the world, trying to discover where those things are, sending them to, and have that kind of immersive experience of living throughout the world and exploring that through the quest text. While we do know that there are add-ons, and we are not doing anything to prevent these, if you want to install an add-on that does this, that is fine, that's okay. We want you to be able to do that, but we also want players who want to be able to play without that experience, who want to experience Lich King the way they did the first time when they leveled up without that experience, to have that opportunity without it being pushed into their face by the default UI experience. And then yeah, I want to emphasize, we don't make these kind of changes lightly. They come from really core values to what Classic is about. We do think Classic is about being social and making friends and meeting new people, so that in order to make that happen, you can run into those people on multiple occasions. You have to have a chance to play with them, and then play with them a second time and say, oh yeah, I remember that guy, he was cool last time, maybe we should should we be sharing my friend list? Maybe I should put them on the list of all the people that I try to make a dungeon groups with all the time, after you have had a successful adventure run. So we want to emphasize social, and we also want to emphasize that the world and the immersion in the world, and it's really important when you are reading that quest text that you are thinking about the world and the NPCs and the motivations, what is going on, and in all locations. Whereas if you have the tool that is showing you all on the map, go to this, do that, and so on, you start to ignore the quest text or the NPC and go just to the location the UI is telling you to go to, instead of thinking about that immersion in the world. And so, because the two values are so important to us, we want to make these changes to emphasize these values. So after reading this, I kind of actually agree with what they are saying here. In a previous video that I uploaded, I think yesterday, they talked about the 4 pillars they were creating their #some changes around, and the world around you and the immersion into the world was kind of one of those pillars, and I do think it is important to keep that immersion there, and I think almost everyone knows about add-ons such as Questy or Azeroth Autopilot by now, but I was genuinely curious about when or if they were adding this quest helper into Wrath Classic, and at least now I have my answer. This is also the perfect time to plug the RestedXP leveling add-on and leveling guide. They are working on the best Wrath leveling guide out there, and by pre-ordering the guide you will also get access to a level 70 to 71 preparation guide that will take you through quests and preparations you can do right now in TBC Classic to instantly hit 71 when Wrath launches, which will make you skyrocket ahead of the pack. Having a leveling add-on like this will by itself speed up your leveling experience by a lot, so I definitely recommend checking out RestedXP through the link down below. Now onto a small rant. I do find it to be a terrible way of giving information the way they are doing these interviews. They are doing interviews with websites and very specific content creators to hype up Wrath Classic. Not like that in itself is kind of bad, but like they did this in like they did in this interview. They are answering important questions that the public should know about, and only answering this in an interview is not how they should share information. There should be a public blue post about this. In addition to the interview itself, I am not saying interviews are bad, I'm just saying spreading information or important information in several pieces in multiple interviews is a terrible way to give that information to the public, as we have to find each individual piece and complete the puzzle. So now they have removed the automatic dungeon finder from Wrath Classic, and they have also confirmed the quest helper will not be active in Wrath Classic. We are really moving in the direction of #some changes here, and I want to ask you guys, what do you feel about them removing these 2 features? Let me know in the comments down below, and as always, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up for me, and subscribe for more Wrath videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.